you gotta make films. People making feature films on their phones. You gotta make it and get it seen.
Hey everyone, I'm Juliana, and this is Juliana Talks Films, the channel where I explore and examine films and filmmakers so we can learn how to make better films. If you love films and filmmaking, consider subscribing for weekly videos. Today we're hearing from a revolutionary modern-day filmmaker who has continued to push Black cinema forward. From his accidental stumble into filmmaking during his sophomore year of college to becoming one of the most recognized and at times notorious filmmakers of the late 20th and early 21st century, Spike Lee is an unapologetic intellectual and oftentimes radical filmmaker who frequently questions racial and political structures. His films often highlight the Black community and their struggle to find equality and justice in a country founded on oppression. Now more than ever, Lee's films continue to be timely and much needed as the conversation of systemic racism continues. His latest film, Defy Bloods, continues his legacy and is now available to stream on Netflix. If you take nothing else out of this video, Lee's #1 advice for filmmakers is to go out there and make films. That's how Lee got started, and it's how he suggests others get started too. With that, here is my take on Spike Lee's top 5 lessons on filmmaking.
I'm very happy with the response.
It's lighter than what you've done.
Yes, I think it's lighter, but I don't think it's a vast departure that some people said, you know, like all of a sudden this is a warm and gentler Spike Lee. Like, I never had those qualities, or those qualities were never in any of my other films. Yeah. I just felt that as far as my career goes and the types of films I want to make, that it was important to do something different and not duplicate what we did with Malcolm X or the other 2 films dealing with race.
Right. Jungle Fever,
and Do the Right Thing, you know, race stuff between Black people, you know, school days. I just felt it was time to change the pace, and I think it just really shows, you know, the versatility that I have and the types of films I want to make. I don't always want to do a film that deals with, you know, the racial climate in this country.
Potential or filmmakers, writers, playwrights. For drama, you gotta have people button heads. And it elevates the drama when they're both, what they're saying is right. So let's break this down. Buggins out like, fuck you, Sal. I'm tired of motherfucking Italians. I had another story about it, but on the wall. There's not a busload of Italian Americans coming from Bensonhurst, Howard Beach, to Bed-Stuy, do or die. Not in 89. Your livelihood consists of Black and Puerto Rican people spending money in your pizzeria. It was Danielle pronounced it pizzeria. So therefore, don't you think it would be respectful to have some Black people on the wall? That's a valid point.
Yep.
Let's go to bugging out. What's who I just do? Sal or bugging out? Which one I just do? Sal or bugging out?
Yeah.
I did Sal? Now Sal's like, yo, motherfucker. If you want a pizzeria, build your own motherfucking pizzeria. This is my business, and I could do what I want.
Like Hollywood.
Yes. So there's the drama. 2 people who believe in their beliefs, and they're going head to head.
When Do the Right Thing was seen in Cannes, the report from the European press was that the European critics really embraced the film. The North American, and I include Canadian, North American press, raised questions about racism, about violence.
Well, I don't think they didn't raise any questions about racism. I think that's
violence.
What they harped on was the violence. Their mode of thinking that this film is dangerous, that this film should not come out in the summertime, that this film was made, that I made this film with the intent purpose of inciting riots, which is all false. And so that's something I'm going to have to continue to address now, the whole next month, and even after the film is open, because people will still be convinced, no matter what I say, that I made this film to start an uprising, which is not the truth at all. This film was made to start some discussion, provoke some thought about racism, which I feel is not just an American problem. I think it's a world problem. That's something I had to reprimand the European critics, to in Cannes at the press conference, because they could sit here smugly in Europe and say that racism is an American problem, and I pointed out to the French critics, that's not true, because I know a whole lot of Algerians, Africans, and people from Senegalese that are catching hell in France. So it's not just America. This is a problem that affects the world.
The other question you had to address in Cannes, which was directed at you, and I'll let you quote yourself on this. People wanted to know where the drugs were.
Right.
And you came out with a very succinct answer.
Well, I think that's a very good question, where are the drugs? But I also had to turn that question back around on them. Because at this point in time, 20 years ago, you could say the drugs was contained within the ghettos across the country. But that is not the case. The reason why drugs is on the cover of Time and Newsweek is because white, middle class, and upper class America, their kids are on crack too. And so drugs is not something that just contains them black people. So if that is the case, why is it when there's a film about black people, will you come to this film expecting the film to see drugs in the movie? Whereas if you see Wall Street or Working Girls or any other film, that thought would not come into their mind. And that is because people are conditioned. I mean, I think another thing what makes this film uncomfortable is that this film actually confronts people's own racism, that they don't think that was in them. Because when you come to a movie theater, when you come to a movie and it's about black people, and your preconceived notions are, well, if this film is about black people, well, that means that there should be drugs in it. I should see some rapes in it, I see some murders in it, I should see some 13-year-old mother throwing their baby out of a window. To me, that's showing what your preconceived notions are about us as a people, and I think that's racist. So that's why that's why a lot of ways it makes people squirm. But this is something that's not an easy, it's not an easy subject matter. But nonetheless, you still have to deal with it.
You make a market. Was there a market where she's got to have it? You make it. You got the. There was no market for hip hop before there was hip hop. Some guys in the Bronx started getting together and rapping over beats, and now it's $1 billion industry. So you got to make a way. When there doesn't seem to be a way, you got to make a way. One of my favorite words is visionary, because these are the people. Visionaries are people who see something when no one else can see it. And when you can see something when no one else can see it, you call crazy. All right, but you see it, and you head other people. They'll catch them eventually. That's what makes them visionary. So I hope that the students here at Dillard, they evolve. Hopefully you're growing and you're learning. Not standing still and being stagnant. I had just completed my sophomore year at Morehouse College, Atlanta, Georgia. I came back to New York for the summer. That was the summer of 1977. New York City was literally broke. There's this famous Daily News front page headline, Ford to City, dropped dead. Usually up to that point, you could always get a job during the summer, but not that summer. So I had nothing to do, and there's a friend of mine, her name is Vieta Johnson. She later went on to Princeton, now she's a doctor in Chicago. She had gotten a Super 8 camera, and I was over her house. I saw this camera in the corner. I asked her about it. I said, can I borrow it? She said, yeah, I'm not doing nothing with it. So I spent the whole summer running around New York City filming stuff with this Super 8 camera. Now, I did not do this because I wanted to be a filmmaker. I did this solely because
I just didn't want to spend the whole summer playing Stratomatic baseball on my Brooklyn stoop. It was a great summer to be filming stuff. Number one, it was a first summer disco, so I was filming numerous block parties where DJs were hooking up their turntables and speakers to the street lamps. Number two, it was one of the hottest summers of record. Consequently, it was a blackout. And so when the blackout happened and the black New Yorkers and New Yorkers started looting, I filmed that. Also, there's this guy named David Berkowitz, son of Sam, who had a lot of New York City terrified. So I was just filming all this stuff. Came back to school in the fall, and now during this whole summer I began to like film a lot. I had not chosen a major up to that point. So I chose a major, mass communications, which was, besides film, television, print journalism, and radio. And my film teacher, Professor Herb Eichelberg, who's still teaching today, he's the one that encouraged me to take all these Super 8 cartridges that I shot over the summer and give it a spine, make a story out of it, make it a documentary. I did that the whole summer, that whole semester, the whole fall semester. The film ended up being called Last Hustle in Brooklyn, as a homage to Last Tango in Paris. Film found me. Notice what I said, film found me. I didn't say I found film.
My personal favorite tip was number 3, to challenge preconceived notions. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite tip was. I hope this video helps you guys on your filmmaking journey, and as a bonus for sticking through all the way to the end, here's an extra tip for you. Enjoy.
You gotta make films. People making feature films on their phones. You gotta make it and get it seen. Film festival right here, my man right here. But you cannot underestimate who sees your film. A whole bunch of people. They put their stuff up. I mean, these agencies and studios, they have people who the only job is to look at stuff on the internet, so that's definitely a way to get seen. But you all, at the same time, you got to develop your own voice. If you're doing something where you're just imitating something that's hot or trendy, they're looking for original voices. So I think at this stage, try to develop your voice.